Welcome to our training, Configure Your Seller Central Account. You've registered as an Amazon seller. Congrats! Your next step is configuring your Seller Central account. Your account was created with certain default settings and registration information, but you'll want to review your settings and complete any outstanding information to ensure a smooth start to your Amazon selling experience. Let's review how to configure each part of your Seller Central account. After signing in to Seller Central, access your account settings and information by hovering over the gear or settings icon. Click Account Info to access your account information. You can then click Store Info and select your seller profile to view and edit the public seller profile that appears in each country-based Amazon store you sell in. Your public seller profile includes the display name for your business, which appears in each of your offers. It also includes the link to your Amazon store if you've created one for a brand enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry. Your store link appears on the detail pages for products associated with your brand, as well as other locations. Your seller profile also includes the email addresses and phone numbers you use to provide customer service. Make sure these details are always current so you can respond to customer inquiries promptly. Select Account Info from the Seller Information page to go back to the Account Overview page. Click Vacation Settings next to Store Status, then scroll down to click Edit, and toggle off Vacation if you ever need to temporarily deactivate all your Amazon listings, and click Save. You can use this tool anytime you want to pause new orders. Go back to the previous window to see the Account Overview page. On this page, under the Manage Your Services section, you can view and edit your enrollment in various programs by clicking on the program name. You can also switch your selling plan, individual or professional, by selecting Selling on Amazon. View your status in programs like Sponsored Products and Fulfillment by Amazon, FBA, or sign up for additional programs like Amazon Pay. Go back to the previous window and select Payment Information to view and edit a variety of operations information. Use links in the Payment Information section to keep your deposit and charge methods up to date. It's important to keep your bank account information current so we can transfer your sales revenue on a regular cycle. It's also important to keep your credit card information current to prevent settlement or listing issues. Use the links in the Business Information section to view and edit key operations details. Some of these details, like your merchant token, aren't viewable in the Amazon store, but others, like your legal entity name and business address, are viewable on your public seller profile. Note that your name should be the name your business is registered under, or your name if you're an individual entity. Similarly, your business address should be the address your business is registered under, or your operating address if you're an individual entity. The next section, Shipping and Returns Information, is where you can view and edit the settings you use to ship orders and manage return settings. If you fulfill customer orders yourself, which we call seller or merchant fulfillment, you should review both types of settings before you list items in the Amazon store. If you send all your items to Amazon for fulfillment through FBA, you won't need to configure shipping settings, but should still check and confirm settings for returns. Click Shipping Settings, then General Shipping Settings to view your shipping rates and restrictions for seller-fulfilled orders, which include your geographic shipping regions and service levels. Your shipping settings are displayed to customers and can impact their decision to buy. Shipping settings can also impact your item's chances of becoming the featured offer. For example, offering free shipping or shipping that's faster than competitors' shipping may increase its chances. Your account has default shipping settings when it's first created. You can use templates to customize them, adjusting the regions you ship to and the service levels you support for each region. You can also use shipping settings to adjust the method you use to calculate shipping fees. Choose between a per item or per pound rate, or a price band rate. The first option calculates customer shipping using either the number of items purchased or their total weight. The second option calculates shipping using the total amount of an order. If you adjust shipping settings, keep in mind that standard shipping is a requirement for all sellers. Before selecting any additional service levels, you'll want to confirm that you can meet the indicated commitment. Select the gear icon, click Account Info, and then Return Address in the Shipping and Returns Information section to view and edit return settings for your seller fulfilled and FBA orders. In the General Settings section, you can review and adjust return authorization and return label defaults for each country-specific store and provide customers with specific return instructions. In the Resolution section, you can create a rule for a returnless resolution. In the Manage Return Addresses section, you can adjust the addresses you want to use for customer returns in each store. And in the Return Program Settings section, you choose to offer free returns for all, some, or none of your items. By selecting the Returns Provider Program tab, you can also access a list of third-party service providers who can provide your customers with a domestic returns experience. Providing a domestic return address can help speed up the return and refund process for your customers. Make sure you keep all your return settings and information current to support smooth processing and preserve customer trust. Remember that all sellers who fulfill orders directly must provide customers with one of 3 return options: a domestic return address, a prepaid return label, or a returnless refund. Next, go back to the Account Info page and select Tax Information. If you haven't yet provided your tax information to Amazon, you'll see that your legal business name and place of establishment address aren't yet complete. Both sections update after you finish our tax interview. To start the interview, click the Start Tax Interview button. Then complete each question and provide all requested information. You can also retake the tax interview anytime to update your information. For example, if what currently appears in the Legal Business Name field is your personal name, you can click the Update Tax Information button to switch it to the name of your registered business. In the Account Management section of the Account Info page, you can manage notifications, login settings, user permissions, and close your account. When you click on Notification Preferences, you can edit the alerts you receive from Amazon. Under the Notification Options tab, you can select the type of alerts you'd like to receive. For example, you may want to get alerted when you receive an order or a return request. You can also opt out of notifications by selecting Edit next to the section the notification you longer want to receive alerts for, and selecting Save. Under the Contacts tab, you can edit the default email address and phone number you use to receive alerts. These defaults are used automatically for certain notification types, but you're able to customize others. You can either go back to access the Account Management page or hover over the gear icon. Then click Login Settings if you ever need to update the email address and password associated with your Seller Central account. You can also go straight to your shipping and return settings using shortcuts in the Settings drop-down menu. If you have a professional selling plan, click Gift Options to view and edit the descriptions you provide customers about any gift messaging and gift wrap services you offer. Gift messaging and wrapping services aren't account defaults, but professional sellers can enable them anytime they'd like to offer customers an enhanced experience. Professional sellers can also hover over the gear icon, then click Tax Settings to set up Amazon's tax calculation services for sales and use taxes. Before you set up tax calculation services, review our Tax Calculation Services help pages. If you're looking for assistance with your tax and compliance obligations, you can also contact a third-party tax advisor. We provide a list of vetted advisors via our Service Provider Network. Open the main menu in Seller Central, hover over Apps and Services, then click Explore Services to access the Service Provider Network. Scroll down and click Taxes to browse a list of third-party tax advisors. When you first register as a seller, only you can access your Seller Central account. But if you're a professional seller, you can provide access to others, including employees, co-owners, or contractors. Start by hovering over the gear icon, then clicking User Permissions. On the User Permissions page, enter contact information for new account users or manage settings for existing users. When you invite a new user, they'll receive an email with instructions for accessing your Seller Central account using their own credentials. As a secondary account user, Their access to various tools is determined by the permissions you grant. You can provide secondary account users with access to view and edit certain tools. You can also restrict their access to certain tools or grant administrator access, which lets them grant tool access to others. If you ever want to view a chronological list of user permission changes for your Seller Central account, hover over the gear icon, then click User Permissions History. Remember that when multiple users are accessing an account, individual credentials should remain confidential. Note, too, that the actions of all account users contribute to your account health. Hover over the gear icon, then click Your Info and Policies to access a list of pages you can use to provide customers with additional information about your business. Click Profile to add information to your public seller profile. Or use additional links to create custom help page content for your shipping policies, privacy policies, gift services, or tax policies. You can also create a page for FAQs. Click the last link on Your Info and Policies page if you're a professional seller and want to add certifications to your seller profile. Add national or state diversity certifications if, for example, you're a minority-owned business or a registered small business. Or add quality certifications if your products meet standards set by various organizations like the International Organization for Standardization, or ISO. Finally, if you send products to Amazon for fulfillment, hover over the gear icon, then click Fulfillment by Amazon to access the FBA settings dashboard. You'll manage any actual FBA shipments and inventory by hovering over Inventory and selecting FBA Inventory or Shipments under the Fulfillment by Amazon section. But you can use FBA settings to quickly review and update general settings for your FBA operations. For example, you can enable and adjust settings for inventory headed into our network of fulfillment centers. Or you can enable options for FBA's Subscribe and Save program to encourage recurring purchases from customers. We encourage you to keep your account settings and information up to date to support an ideal experience for both you and your customers. Thank you, and happy selling in the Amazon store!